Abbey Onn, who joins us right now, 5 of her family members were kidnapped October 7th. Think about that for a moment. 5 people from one family. IDF located the bodies of Carmela and Noyadan in Gaza. 2 other family members, Erez and Zohar Calderon, released back in November. And one, Ofer Calderon, is still unaccounted for, possibly among, those still being held hostage that we just talked about. So, Abby, I just wonder... I always wonder when I have a conversation with someone like you, just what thoughts are going through your mind, especially now 6 months in, but especially you with 5 family members having been impacted by this.
I think in some ways, 6 months in, some things have gone back to normal. And in other ways, you understand that things will never be normal again, that to have witnessed or been part of such terror, you kind of can't go back to yourself on October 6th. That you are forever changed, and that we're very much still in the fight to bring home the 133 hostages that are still there, some already dead, and many of them, we hope, still alive.
Well, that's the point, right? It's still not over yet, despite everything your family's been through, even for your family. We understand Vice President Harris just wrapped up a meeting a short time ago with some hostage family members. I have an article I'll put up to illustrate the point here from Axios about the U.S. delivering a new proposal for a hostage deal and a ceasefire deal. Bill Burns, the CIA director over in Egypt, with that new proposal. Supposedly, this is one that would secure the release of 40 hostages still held in Gaza. As we said a moment ago, there may be close to 100. But your thoughts on where all of this is going, and maybe finally we get some sort of a deal? I don't know.
I feel like we don't get excited until we see something really concrete. But I can tell you from the Israeli perspective, we are in the streets fighting for this deal because we know that there is nothing more important for us as family members, but really as citizens of the country, to see every single one of those hostages come back. And I think really that's what we need in order to begin healing. I know that that's what my cousins need. And I know that all of us right now need to know that our country is going to fight to bring home people that were taken, innocent civilians that were taken from their homes on October 7th.
We talk about being in the streets. We're looking at some of the posters now. We had video of some of the rallies in support of the hostages before. This is from The Guardian. Tens of thousands of Israelis rallying against Netanyahu as the Gaza war reaches its 6-month mark. So what would you say about the efforts of the Netanyahu government and whether enough has been done to bring these people home?
I think that his government has the biggest challenge possible because he is, in essence, negotiating with a terror organization, right? One today that was given a deal that they said no to. But I think that as families of hostages, we wish we were rallying to strengthen him, right? Not against him, but that we would give him strength to know that this should be his #1 priority. And I don't think in 6 months in that any of us can say that enough has been done. And I think that's why you see so many people in the streets. But it's a way to raise our voices to say, this is what your country cares about. This is what your country needs. And I think you see tens and thousands of people across the country in the streets making their voices heard so that the government understands and the war cabinet understands that we need our family members home.
Well, that's interesting to me because these protests being, we're calling them anti-Netanyahu protests, and I'm sure there are many people who feel that way, that are, quote-unquote, anti-Netanyahu. But your point is that it's not necessarily that, or it's not necessarily just that. It's more pro-hostage. Would be a better way to characterize it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think that we put ourselves in a bad position when we get political right now. And I think everyone should do as they feel, natural with. But our one issue this entire war has been that our family members were stolen from their homes and we want them back. Look, we are 6 months plus now living through a war, and that war is awful for every single person involved. Every single person, whether they're Israeli or Palestinian, and we want that to end. And the deal that was on the table as recently as a few hours ago would have, in many ways, ended that. Right. If Hamas returned hostages and stopped their attack as well, right? If that had happened on October 7th, if they had said we were going to give them back, we wouldn't be where we are today. And so I think all of us want to see an end to this. But for us, that end is equal to our family members coming back.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.